Rather than putting all money in one go, you kind of stagger it in tranches.
करियर जब बिगिन होता है तो हमें सबसे पहले हमारी कंट्री में ध्यान आता है होम लोन एंड एक घर बनाना है ज़िंदगी में. डू यू थिंक ये एक माइंडसेट बन गया है हमारा?
If you go to a good MBA college or a good private college, you need to spend so much of money, so you take education loan. By the time you get a job, then you know that after 3-4 years you need to get married, so you need to have a house in a city where you are working. So because of that, you need to take a home loan. First, we have to understand the intention behind why we want to buy a house. Is it just because everybody is doing it, या फिर मुझे शादी करनी है और कोई मुझे बेटी नहीं देगा इसलिए मुझे दिखाने के लिए करना है?
लॉट ऑफ टाइम हम रिसर्च इतनी कर लेते हैं उससे फिर स्टॉक से इमोशनली अटैच्ड हो जाते हैं. वो बोलते हैं अब तो खरीदना ही पड़ेगा. Hello, guys, and welcome to the Margin of Safety Investing podcast, where we will be inviting more and more people to discuss about their wealth orientation and their thought process about money. So today we have a very special guest with us, which is none other than Mr. Vivek Mashrani. And Vivek is an investor, as well as a coach, as well as my very, very dear friend from college. We'll ask him some very, very intellectual, spiritual, as well as those tough questions about investing. So welcome, Vivek. It's a pleasure having you today.
Thank you so much, Utkarsh. It's always amazing to see the journey which we started in our MBA college. And when we look backward, it's amazing the way we have evolved and learned so many things from each other. So it's a pleasure, and it's awesome to address your community and people who are associated on the Margin of Safety podcast as well.
No, absolutely. So, thank you so much for joining us today. And to start off things, सबसे पहले तो हम लोग आज जानना चाहते हैं कि विवेक मशरानी एक्चुअली है कौन. सो विवेक मशरानी ने अपनी शुरुआत कहाँ से की? क्या वो इन्वेस्टिंग में हमेशा से इंटरेस्टेड था? एंड इन्वेस्टिंग शुरू कब हुई? क्या पेरेंट्स इन्वेस्टिंग में थे? किसने आपको दैट फर्स्ट स्टेप दिया इन्वेस्टिंग की तरफ?
Got it. So Utkarsh, basically, the journey is very, very interesting. Firstly, when you are in Gujarat, you have, investing in the air. A lot of people around me, people whom I knew, they were into investing. But somehow, in my family, investing was like a taboo. It's like, stock market is gambling, stock market to jua, ye karoge, paisa chala jayega, and all sort of those things were prevalent at that point of time. But somehow one of my uncle, who is also still a sub broker of one of the brokerage firm, he told me you can actually earn money through it. And I saw his journey. Over a period of time he grew his wealth to a great extent, and I was inspired that yes, this is something which we can learn and probably try our luck. That time it was not like it is a systematic thing and all those things. That let's try it out. Let's try our luck. So that is the reason. As soon as I started earning some money, I thought let's give it a chance. 2007-8 is when I got a confirmed job in Infosys and I got some money. I thought let's get started. And as usual, made a lot of mistakes. Initially started with future and option, lost some money. Then tried long-term investing, lost money again. But it was very unstructured way it got started. So that is how it all began, and then slowly, I evolved in the journey.
Right.
But yeah, just like so many people, when they start investing, it was not so different. It was just like thinking like a tool which can give me additional income in my journey. And when we are doing engineering, when we are doing some intellectual studies, we feel like let's apply our brain. If it is so intellectual, let's try it out here also. So that is how it all got started actually.
Awesome. So then of course the MBA happened, right?
Yes.
And you got a formal education into the stock markets, and there I guess we kind of understood the entire universe, right?
Absolutely.
I think that's the best thing which happened to us. And
so basically after doing so many mistakes, it got to a realization that this is also kind of science and art, and you need to learn. It's like a skill. And those 2 years MBA decision was one of the best decisions. And of course, we got a lot of peers like you inside our class also who are so much passionate about equity investing. A lot of people coming to our guest sessions in our college, teaching us a lot of different things. That also, I think, greatly helped. And of course, our library and the trading desk which we had, the virtual trading room, that kind of gave a very realistic feel about how it looks like and how to approach it.
Right.
So of course, yeah, those 2 years I feel were the best 2 years in my entire investing journey, because that taught me so many things in a much accelerated way, and that was probably a best investment apart from the investment which we do right
Correct.
now, to grow the mindset around money and wealth actually.
Right. Education में the investment is never a waste. I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. You are the strongest and biggest asset of ourselves, right? So we basically, if we invest in ourselves, that's the best investment which we can
Right,
make.
right. So, Vivek, today, I'm sure a lot of audience also wants to know that कि भाई हम अपना करियर स्टार्ट करते हैं, और करियर जब बिगिन होता है तो हमें सबसे पहले हमारी कंट्री में ध्यान आता है होम लोन एंड एक घर बनाना है ज़िंदगी में. डू यू थिंक ये एक माइंडसेट बन गया है हमारा, एंड क्या ये माइंडसेट होना सही है? क्या कोई और ऑल्टरनेटिव है जिससे हम लोग बेटर कर सकते हैं, बेटर अपने फाइनेंशियल मैनेज कर सकते हैं, एंड वो पैसा जो हम स्टॉक मार्केट में लगा सकते थे वो जब होम लोन में लगा रहे हैं या अपने होम लोन का EMI रिपेमेंट के लिए लगा रहे हैं, तो हाउ डज इट वर्क? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So I think, see, there are two major problems in our society. One is our education system, where we are not taught about money and how to manage our finances, and hence we need to learn it in colleges, like where we learned formally. Until then we are not having any idea about it, right? And second is our employment system. It is designed in such a way, in fact both of these are connected. The education system, it's so expensive. The public schooling is not that great. The colleges of public is not that great, so you need to go to a private college, most likely. If you go to a good MBA college or a good private college, you need to spend so much of money, so you take education loan. Then by the time you get a job, then that after 3-4 years you need to get married, so you need to have a house in a city where you are working. So because of that you need to take a home loan. And then your company encourages to take car loan and so on and so forth, and then it's a debt trap. And in fact, employers need that push, because they know that once the guy takes loan, they will not be quitting the job. So it's like a debt trap they get into.
Yes.
It. And the problem is, again, the problem is not taking a home loan. The problem is in the initial stage of the career, if one is substantially putting money into a home loan, that means the EMI are kind of quite large, and after paying EMIs and after paying taxes, there is hardly anything left for saving or investing.
Correct.
And that creates a problem, because compounding works like the more number of years, the faster and better it will work. Now, initial years, if you are not putting money into saving and investing, your back end kind of suffers. So the late you start in investing, the bigger problem it is.
I think you also require an abundance mindset rather than a fearful mindset.
Correct.
Because home loan की EMI अगर हमारे सर पे है,
Yes.
तो भाई हम
कुछ और सोच ही नहीं सकते.
फेयर के अलावा और कुछ सोच ही नहीं सकते.
And that is what वो 3 Idiots में dialogue भी है ना, once you learn, you have a car loan, education loan, credit card, bank आपको credit card देती है, then they give home loan, and then you cannot take a free decision.
Correct.
So correct. That Rancho वाला dialogue I can clearly.
Your mind doesn't work rationally.
It doesn't work rationally. It always works कि अभी next EMI आ रहा है, उसके लिए मुझे
From a very fearful angle.
Yes.
Somewhere.
Yes.
All your decisions will be based on that fear.
Correct.
As well.
Correct.
So absolutely. But what should people do? क्या लोग घर ही ना खरीदें? घर खरीदना है तो क्या मेट्रोपॉलिटन सिटी में अगर मैं काम कर रहा हूँ तो क्या मैं यहाँ लूँ? क्या मैं should I go for a 2-tier city, maybe my native place? What should I do? Because यहाँ metropolitan city में इतना appreciation भी नहीं है.
Right.
Rental yields are also around 2-3%
Yes.
max. And फ्रॉम अ रेसिडेंशियल पर्सपेक्टिव. एंड मेट्रोपॉलिटन सिटी में एप्रिसिएशन भी अब थोड़ा सा सैचुरेट हो चुका है.
Yes.
एंड जो इक्विटी मार्केट्स में हम सोच रहे हैं 20-25% पे पैसा बन जाए और हमारा जो कॉर्पस है वो हर 3 साल में डबल हो जाए, यहाँ पर हम 7-8 साल में भी वो चीज़ शायद नहीं सोच पाते हैं.
Absolutely. So the point is very clear, right? कि first we have to understand the intention behind why we want to buy a house. Is it just because everybody is doing it? या फिर मुझे शादी करनी है और कोई मुझे बेटी नहीं देगा इसलिए मुझे दिखाने के लिए करना है. एंड दैट इज़ ऑल्सो माइंडसेट ऑफ लॉट ऑफ पीपल कि यार मेरे रेंटल हाउस में मैं रह रहा हूँगा तो मुझे कोई मेरे से शादी नहीं करेगा, राइट? एंड दैट इज़ अगेन अ माइंडसेट विच इज़ बिन प्रिवलेंट इन अवर सोसाइटी. सो फर्स्ट थिंग if you are in a decent job, if you have a good cash flow coming in, the other side in-laws, future in-laws should think that it is not about house, it is about the asset which is earning that salary which you need to focus on, right? Thankfully my in-laws were like that. I was living in rental house for so many years and they still agreed to marry their daughter with me. But yeah, that is a very big dilemma a lot of time people face. So you need to think about what is your objective behind buying that house in first place. अभी काफ़ी बार आपकी जॉब ऐसी है कि you are working in a multinational company into sector where you need to move to different cities. Like I moved from Mumbai to Hyderabad to Bangalore and so on and so forth. So if you need to keep moving around, there is no point buying a house at one place because then again आपको वो टेनेंट ढूंढने के लिए मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी. Then you go to a different city, then again you are renting a house. So even though you are owning a house, you are actually not using it. And it's so complex things which you are getting into. एक तरफ EMI भरना है, एक तरफ आपको टेनेंट ढूंढना है. अगर टेनेंट नहीं मिलता है तो you are paying EMI and also you are paying rent. So it's a difficult situation to be in. On the other hand, if your job is stable, if you feel you are going to live in that city for 20-30 years and if your finances permit, you can still put some money into home loan and buy that house. But generally if there is any volatility in your career, it doesn't make sense that way is also to buy a house. Second aspect is traditionally क्या होता था कि आप जब किराए पे घर लेते, जनरली डुप्लेक्स होता था, नीचे मकान मालिक रहता है, आप ऊपर रहते हो. एंड देर यूज टू बी लॉट ऑफ दीज टीजिंग कि भाई यहाँ पे बहुत आवाज़ आ रही है, आपका बच्चा ये कर रहा है, यहाँ पे ये मत रखो, यहाँ पे ये ड्रिल मत करो. तो लॉट ऑफ दोज इश्यूज वेयर देयर विच नाउ इज सॉर्ट ऑफ चेंजिंग. आपका ओनर शायद यूएस में रह रहा है या दूसरे मेट्रो में रह रहा है एंड देर इज नो बॉदरेशन दैट वेज इन मेजोरिटी ऑफ द metro cities.
Plus, you can always make your landlord sign an agreement with certain terms and conditions कि भाई तुम इतने बार visit करोगे मुझे and you will not be troubling me time and again. So all that can be done.
And वो mentality भी change हो रही है. They don't think tenant is like अपना गुलाम, right? पहले वो था कि यार tenant है तो मैं उसको जो बोलूँगा करूँगा. आजकल ऐसा नहीं है. Like people who are even buying or living in a rented house, they say, boss, I am paying you rent and you are getting it. So it's not like you are above me or below me. You are equal to me. We are just doing a transaction.
Correct.
You are giving me house, I am giving you money, right? So the mindset that way has shifted. So it's not like old days where these used to happen. So yeah, that hampers compounding in initial year, but the decision should be solely not emotional, but should be based on your necessity. If really it is required, if there is not too much of volatility in your career, then probably it will still make sense to put some amount in a house, but not putting everything there and then struggling to save anything in future.
Basically, दूसरों को देख के मत कीजिए.
Correct.
That is what we are trying to say.
And just
Take
don't follow, because दूसरे relatives buy कर रहे तो हमें भी buy करना है.
Yeah.
That is not a right way to
because probably you might be good in compounding at some other asset class.
Absolutely.
Maybe आप stock markets में अच्छा करते हैं. Yes. Maybe आप म्यूचुअल फंड में डाल के भी पैसे अच्छे कमा रहे हैं. तो then why to actually block your money here?
Yeah, it's very simple. As Utkarsh said, 2% rental yield है, 4-5% का appreciation है, 7% आपको अगर real estate से मिल रहा है. And when you can actually stay in a rented house at 2%, and your equity kind of, even if it grows at 15%, which it has been in last 10-15 years, then that arbitrage or that margin is very, very big in the favor of, asset class like equities.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, moving on from this particular topic, thank you so much for that. I think that would give a lot of perspective to the audience which is watching, and the youth which is watching, who actually want to manage their finances better and get that perspective कि हमें होम लोन लें, हम स्टॉक मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट करें, बट पैसा तो लिमिटेड है, तो कहाँ डालें, वो पर्सपेक्टिव है. एक चीज़ आई थिंक विवेक की कॉन्वर्सेशन से मुझे समझ में आई कि जैसे आप होम लोन ले लेते हैं, आपको ज़रूरत है नहीं है वो एक अलग बात है, बट गाइस प्लीज़ रिमेंबर कि जैसे ही आप होम लोन ले लेते हैं, you are thinking from a fearful angle, and that is not good for any kind of investing. Yeah. So Vivek, moving on from here, I think let's come down to our favorite topic.
Yes.
Now, which is the stock market.
Yes.
So what was the amount which you started with? Is it something which you started with a very small amount, or क्या मैक्सिमम सैलरी तुम उसी समय से इन्वेस्ट करना शुरू कर चुके थे कि उसमें भी आने में टाइम लगा?
Got it. So see, starting to hamesha it starts with a small amount, right? And that's the beauty about investing. It's nothing about big amount or small amount. It is about starting your investing journey, right? So that is a first step which is very, very important. And of course, money, even small money, I'll just give you an example. When we were in college, along with our professor, I identified a stock. I put some 50,000 money into that, जो PF से मुझे आया था, Infosys से. That 50,000 rupees, that stock is multiplied by 50 times. And that 50,000 is today worth 25 lakhs. तब के टाइम पे भी 50,000 was not a very big amount. हमारी फीस ही कुछ 8-10 लाख हुआ करती थी, right? तो 50,000 इतनी भी बड़ी अमाउंट नहीं थी.
Correct.
But even in today's time, 25 lakh is a big amount. Right? It's like you still get a 1 BHK in a small tier 2, tier 3 city. So the point is, even if you start small, the compounding effect जितना जल्दी शुरू होता है, it matters a lot. And coming to your question, when I was into my first job, of course, when you are investing in yourself, when you get a good job, higher salary than relatively other peers with you, it of course gives you an edge, because आपका जो बेसिक नीड्स है, रोटी कपड़ा मकान, उसमें इतना पैसा नहीं जाएगा जितना आपको सैलरी आ रहा है. तो वेरी स्मॉल पोर्शन विल गो इनटू रोटी कपड़ा मकान वर्सेस समबडी हु इज स्टार्टिंग विद अ वेरी बेसिक जॉब with not too much of high end education. So when you start at a slightly good point in your salary, that gives you an edge. But problem ये होता है कि फिर वही trap में फंस जाते हैं लोग, even though they are into higher salary. So what I made sure initially in my early days of career is कि maximum my saving goes to investing, whatever maximum I can save. That doesn't mean that I was cutting corners around my basic needs and wants. So I was spending money in my roti kapda makan, but I made sure ki how we can optimize it. So one is being miser, and one is to optimize your expense, right? There is vast difference between both of them. Some people will like stay in a very bad place and save a lot of money, but they are spoiling their health, probably their overall mindset and all those things. But here you can optimize. So we stayed like 3 guys together. We had a common cook. That optimized our cost in terms of eating out and all those kind of things. Because we had 3 bedrooms and 3 different members contributing to the common expenses, to maid and all those cleaning expenses, that kind of divided. So you kind of save a significant amount that time. And still we used to party, we used to travel, we used to go biking and all those things we were doing, because वो age वापस नहीं आती है. That is also important. But at the same time, I was able to after tax save at least 50 to 60% of my salary. तो वो हर महीने I made sure that I invest regularly in equities. Of course 1 साल के लिए होम लोन भी, मतलब एजुकेशन लोन भी था मेरे, तो वो एजुकेशन लोन में थोड़ा सा I had to contribute, but that I repaid very very fast, because I didn't wanted that interest circle to go on. But beyond that, I was regularly investing.
But ये values कहाँ से आए कि भाई मुझे अपना maximum money डालना है? So was it a result of your education where you kind of grasped कि maximum money should always be parked in the stock market, or it is that it just came like common sense?
No, I think, see, there was big role of education, you know.
Right.
So in my house and in my social circle, that was the same thing, you know. Stock market is jua, and you buy house first, and all those mindset was prevalent. But that 2 year of investment in the education which we had in MBA Capital Markets, that kind of changed the entire perspective. And when you saw that a lot of successful people who created wealth are on the same path, all the guest session which we had, I kind of realized that this is what we need to do. So that, I think the education was a big major pivot in that.
राइट ये क्वेश्चन मैंने एक्चुअली इसलिए पूछा कि मैं देख रहा हूँ बहुत सारे लोग मेरी कम्युनिटी में भी, जिन लोगों से मैं बात भी करता हूँ, वो अपना मैक्सिमम मनी स्टॉक मार्केट में पार्क कभी कर ही नहीं पाते हैं.
Yes.
प्रॉब्लम क्या है? अब कुछ लोगों को पूछो तो देयर आंसर इज दैट ओ उत्कर्ष आई हैव अब जो आदमी जिसकी 30-35 लाख सैलरी है साल की, वो भी मुझे बोल रहा है कि आई कैन ओनली स्पेयर 5 लाख रुपीज़. वाई? बिकॉज उत्कर्ष यार मैक्सिमम पैसे तो यूलिप में चले गए हैं, और फिर जो LIC में चले गए हैं, फिर म्यूचुअल फंड में चले गए हैं. डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टिंग के लिए तो मेरे पास तो सिर्फ 5 लाख रुपए बचे हैं. तो द क्वेश्चन इज, अगर आप डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टिंग के लिए सिर्फ 5 लाख रुपीज़ ही इन्वेस्ट करेंगे, अ पर्सन ऑफ दिस कैलिबर हु इज अर्निंग दिस काइंड ऑफ सैलरी, देन हाउ विल यू कंपाउंड योर मनी टू एक्चुअली maybe someday achieve financial freedom? Yes. And by financial freedom, for those of you who are wondering what do we mean by financial freedom, it's not that somebody wants to retire. Guys, हमें अपनी लाइफ में बहुत कुछ करना है, या whatever you want to accomplish. So वो accomplishment करने के लिए आपको एक plateau चाहिए of security. So that plateau will be provided to you by equity markets, and it's a beautiful thing how equity markets frankly has provided me that plateau. So I'm very grateful to the markets that this opportunity is there कि मैं ज़िंदगी में वो काम कर पा रहा हूँ जो मुझे हमेशा से करना था. So from that perspective, I think it's really important कि आज लोग ये समझ लें Vivek, that it is actually the amount of money which you put in the market and not the returns which you get.
Yes. It's like, a winning horse, right? कि जो घोड़ा जीत रहा है उसके ऊपर आप कितना पैसा लगा रहे हो. तो जो घोड़ा सबसे तेज जा रहा है उसके ऊपर आप ज़्यादा पैसा लगाओगे तो you will win more. It's the same concept here. The maximum allocation, if you do in equities which is, running fast, your percentage compounding and your allocation will marry and it will create a magic in terms of moving the net worth. बाकी फिर आपका net worth उतना fast बढ़ता ही नहीं है.
So from an equity market perspective, from very investment perspective, I wanted to understand you, if you have to actually define कि भाई वो दो कौन सी चीज़ें हैं जो investing में बहुत ज़्यादा important हो जाती हैं. क्या मैं maybe 2 words or 2 sentences which you can say, which is the heart of investing. What will you say?
So see, investing, when we are investing in stock markets, it is all about, you are investing in businesses, right? And when you are starting your own businesses, what is the mindset we require, right? कि ऐसा business करो जो सबसे fast grow हो रहा है, जो long term तक sustain हो रहा है, और जिसमें profitability एकदम अच्छी है, right? So that is the mantra of investing, that you pick up a company which is kind of growing and most likely growing much faster than the economy is growing, with a profitable growth. That means it is making money, not just growing, but making reasonable amount of returns, and it has long runway, right? This is like the essence of investing. Correct. What we have learned. Correct. So the mindset should be like invest into growth companies which are highly profitable, as simple as it can go.
Is price also a factor? Yes, there are good companies which are there, and does it matter how much you pay for it?
Of course. See, investing returns, if you think about it, it's very simple. The price at which you buy a stock and the price at which you sell a stock. So the lesser the price you can buy it, the better it is, right? So your returns will always be directly proportional to the kind of cheaper price you can enter in. So of course the price matters, but more than price, I think while you select the company, it is very important to see that you are entering into a growth company. A lot of time I've seen investors, just because the price is cheap, they enter into a low growth or a no growth kind of company, and then they realize after few years that the kind of returns it is making is not as per their expectation, right? So there are two engines which work in terms of your returns. One is the earnings growth of the company, and the second is how it gets re-rated.
Correct.
Now if the growth is missing, most likely the re-rating will also be missing. So you are kind of getting into a horse which has got some leeway कि वो उसको थोड़ा सा आगे भेज दिया है वो घोड़े को, but because it is running slowly, अल्टीमेटली रेस वो नहीं जीत पाता,
राइट।
तो अगर रेस जीतना है तो आपको वो फास्ट घोड़े पे लगाना है। अगर उसको फिर थोड़ा आगे भेज दिया है, उसको थोड़ा पुश हुए, बेसिकली आपको सस्ते प्राइस में मिल रहा है, देन इट इज इवन बेटर।
सो फ्रॉम व्हाट आई एम अंडरस्टैंडिंग, इट्स अबाउट बैलेंसिंग योर ग्रोथ and your
price or valuation.
So you've correctly said maybe growth is extremely important.
Yes.
Growth अगर अच्छी है तो मे बी
that is your starting point basically.
थोड़ी सी एक्सपेंसिव कंपनी में भी बच जाओगे।
Correct.
So from what I understand, you are talking about margin of safety.
Yes.
Yeah. So guys, for those of you who want to understand margin of safety, it's basically, from what I understand, Vivek, correct me if I'm wrong, it is that difference between our growth as well as the valuation.
Yeah.
And as far as we can take that, the growth is high and the valuation is low, it's better.
Yeah.
The growth is higher, we can take the valuation up as well.
Absolutely.
So that is the ballpark understanding of
Essence
margin of safety as well. Right, great. So from this perspective now, हम कैसे ये subjective call लें, because growth और valuations को बैलेंस करना काफ़ी बार एक सब्जेक्टिव चीज़ भी हो जाती है। तो क्या हर बार इसको क्वांटिटेटिव मैनर में हम देख सकते हैं, एंड अगर देख सकते हैं तो कैसे?
So see, I think as you rightly said, subjectivity तो है ही, मतलब investing is like mix of science and art. It's not like 1 + 1 always becomes 2. So there is always an element of uncertainty, element of subjectivity will be there. So I think the first part is to really understand a business, whether it is like a really good growing business for a relatively longer time period. And then secondly, which time period you want to enter that company, right? So if you enter in say recession, you are more likely to get it at a cheaper valuation or at a lower valuation than you get it at a peak of the bull market. So you try to get into that swing where you are from, at least bear market, you are somewhere in that swing, and then you kind of ride that bull market. Second very important thing is, as you rightly said, topic around your risk management and margin of safety. Even if you are entering at a peak of bull market and you know that it is bull market and you are paying slightly more premium, slightly more valuation around it, you kind of have a framework which takes you out if market goes unfavorable, or that growth goes away, or the market realizes that this valuation is too high a valuation. So having that exit system is important, for which I use technicals personally, and I know you have a lot of framework in terms of valuation also. And second very important thing is how you allocate into those situations. When you know that I'm slightly paying more premium, I don't want to go all in at that point of time. I maybe test the waters and see what is market thinking about it, and then slowly scale my positions in those cases. So that is where you need to have some kind of mechanism as well as comfort from the market also, how it is behaving with you.
Right. I think from what I understand, investing is about following a process.
Yes.
It should be, you should be having an investment system first of all.
Yes.
कुछ तो process होना चाहिए.
Absolutely.
In fact, I usually discuss a lot of times कि ऐसा ज़रूरी नहीं है कि जो मैं सिखा रहा हूँ वही एक परम सत्य है।
Yes.
हर तरह का इन्वेस्टर होता है मार्केट में, हर तरह के टाइम होराइजन्स होते हैं। कुछ लोग होते हैं 15 साल भी रखते हैं स्टॉक को, कुछ लोग होते हैं वो 1 साल रखते हैं, कुछ लोग होते हैं 6 साल रखते हैं।
Yes.
कोई गलत नहीं है।
Yes.
बट आपकी इन्वेस्टमेंट होराइजन, आपकी इन्वेस्टमेंट स्ट्रैटेजी जो है उसके हिसाब से आपका इन्वेस्टमेंट सिस्टम भी डिज़ाइंड होना चाहिए।
Absolutely. So that is the biggest mistake, what a lot of people make. They feel, the grass is always greener on the other side, and impulsively they take decisions. But the truth is, money, as you rightly said, can be made in multiple ways. There are multiple ways to nirvana, right? But you need to be sure what you are doing, and whether it is congruent to you as a person. And then the kind of mystery gets solved.
Correct. तो कुछ कोई बेसिकली व्हाट आई अंडरस्टूड समराइजिंग दिस एंटायर कॉन्वर्सेशन कि टेक्निकल यूज़ करें, फंडामेंटल यूज़ करें, टेक्निकल एंड फंडामेंटल यूज़ करें, जो भी करें बट एक प्रोसेस सेट कीजिए,
समझे कि क्या कर रहे हैं आप,
क्या कर रहे हैं। एंड वो प्रोसेस ऑफ कोर्स नीड्स टू बी बेस्ड ऑन सम प्रूवन लॉजिक। ऐसा नहीं कि वो हम
कुछ
अपना ही कोई प्रोसेस बना दें। सो काफ़ी लोग मंदड़न अपना प्रोसेस बना देते हैं,
रैंडमली कुछ भी कर लेते हैं।
सो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू सेट अ प्रोसेस विच एक्चुअली वर्क्स, मे बी विच इज बैक टेस्टेड, मे बी विच हैज बीन successful for a long time over the years. So that is absolutely important.
Yes.
Great. So moving on, Vivek, I wanted to understand from you कि यार ये जो स्टॉक्स हमारे जिससे हमें सक्सेस मिल सकती है, डिफरेंट तरह के स्टॉक्स हो सकते हैं, राइट? एंड डिफरेंट स्ट्रैटेजीज भी हो सकती हैं।
Absolutely.
So from what I can recall, a few strategies could be, a turnaround story हो सकती है, cyclical stories हो सकती हैं, and maybe stalwarts जो हमेशा ही ऊपर जाते रहते हैं,
compounders जो
होते हैं वो भी हो सकते हैं, and the last one is the fast growers as well. So I wanted to understand from you कि ये fast growers जो हैं इसको हम कैसे समझें एंड कैसे फाइंड करें, बिकॉज काफ़ी लोग चाहते हैं इंस्टेंट ग्रेटिफिकेशन, राइट? कि अभी मुझे वो स्टॉक बता दे जो भाग रहा है, बट जो भाग रहा होता है वो एक्सपेंसिव भी होता है, एंड शुड वी बी अ बिट कॉशियस अबाउट दैट?
Right. So again, it boils down to a process, right? Something what I use is called stage analysis. कि जब वो company एक consolidation से निकल के it is going into a transition of that growth journey. So ideally, it is very important to pick up in that transition when from a big consolidation it is going to a stage 2, what we call, or where the growth is starting. इट्स सिमिलर टू टर्न अराउंड, वेयर टर्न अराउंड में क्या होता है, एक बियर फेज आ जाता है, पूरा हैमर डाउन हो जाता है, पूरा सेक्टर ख़राब हो जाता है, एंड देन स्लोली स्टेबलाइज होता है, एंड देन वापस वो फिर कंपनी पिकअप करती है। इमेजिन कि वो हिस्ट्री हुआ नहीं है, मतलब कोई सेक्टर ख़राब नहीं हुआ या कोई कंपनी ख़राब नहीं हुई है, बट फर्स्ट टाइम इन इट्स लाइफ और फर्स्ट टाइम इन इट्स जर्नी इट इज़ गोइंग इनटू अ सर्टेन ग्रोथ फेज। इमेजिन कि भाई 10 साल पहले कोई ईवी का कुछ था ही नहीं, नाउ दैट सेक्टर इज जस्ट इमर्जिंग एंड अ कंपनी इज स्टार्टिंग टू लॉन्च अ प्रोडक्ट और सर्विस अराउंड दैट सेक्टर, and then the growth in that sector has started. So that is like more of your fast growing companies. तो वहाँ पे आपको जितना जल्दी वो growth को आप identify करते हो उतना better रहता है, and when as it grows faster the chances of accidents happening because of valuation and because of not having margin of safety is higher.
So you're saying basically चढ़ते हुए स्टॉक पे मत चढ़ जाओ।
हाँ, मतलब यू हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल विच स्टेज यू आर एंटरिंग। मतलब लॉट ऑफ टाइम क्या होता है, वो लोग फोमो में चले जाते हैं कि भाई जब सब लोग चढ़ रहे हैं तभी उनको जाना है। दैट इज़ नॉट अ राइट वे ऑफ इन्वेस्टिंग, एंड दैट इज़ वेयर अगेन गोइंग बैक टू द सिस्टम, राइट? यू नीड अ सिस्टम वेयर यू नीड टू आइडेंटिफाई द स्टॉक्स ड्यूरिंग दोज फेजेस एंड ऑल्सो हैव एग्जिट मैकेनिज्म कि जब वो फेज यूफोरिया में चला जा रहा है एंड प्रॉब्ली इट्स टाइम टू एग्जिट, यू नीड टू ऑल्सो हैव अ फ्रेमवर्क टू एग्जिट।
Tell me something, Vivek. first of all, there are many people who are not able to understand these growth stories as well. And हर कोई visionary नहीं होता.
Yes.
अच्छा, एक तो बात हो गई लोगों की देख के सुन रहे हैं हम कुछ और उस पर बिलीव कर रहे हैं कि EV ग्रोथ स्टोरी है, उनको बिलीव कर लिया और मान लिया. बट these things, the growth stocks take vision.
Correct.
Right? Correct. And so vision के साथ आता है risk.
Yes.
Where things may or may not work out.
Yes.
And jungle themes of growth may or may not work out.
Yeah.
And from that perspective, I feel that कहीं ना कहीं बहुत सारे इन्वेस्टर्स को वो कन्विक्शन नहीं आता है कि इसमें हम बहुत ज़्यादा पैसा डाल सकते हैं. तो उसकी वजह से वो क्या करते हैं कि लेट्स से किसी का 20 लाख का पोर्टफोलियो है, तो वो क्या करता है जाके 50,000 रुपये डाल देता है और चलो डाल दिया यार इसमें. क्वेश्चन तो अब ये है कि वो 50,000 रुपये आपके डबल हो भी गए तो भी आपने कितने पैसे बना लिए. सो मेरा एक्चुअली क्वेश्चन ये था कि क्या हम ग्रोथ स्टॉक्स में इतना डिपेंडेंट रहें, और क्योंकि अगर ग्रोथ स्टॉक्स आपको मिल भी गए तो कितने मिलेंगे, 1, 2, 3 ऐसी स्टोरीज कितनी मिल जाएंगी. तो isn't it actually more sound a strategy to go for your turnarounds, your stalwarts as well as your cyclicals, so that you are able to get that, also understand objectively कि भाई आपका जो ग्रोथ फेज है और जो वैल्यूएशन है वो क्या है. इट्स इन फ्रंट ऑफ योर आईज, राइट? यू कैन एक्चुअली सी इट इन योर सिस्टम्स कि भाई ग्रोथ परसेंटेज कितना चल रहा है और वैल्यूएशन परसेंटेजेस कितने चल रहे हैं.
So no, that is very, very true, right? So you need to maintain a balance. So what I personally do is I have a core portfolio side which is 70%. I have 30% satellite. So core is more like your compounders, some of the high growth companies as well as good consistent compounders which are there. And satellite is where we experiment lot of these things कि कोई sector turn around कर रहा है, कोई company turn around कर रही है, कहीं special situation है, कहीं पे you get the opportunities where some of the emerging sectors are just coming in your radar. So those all experiments happen into satellite, and then you let core companies compound. But more than that, Utkarsh, I think the best thing which you rightly said is the focus on allocation, right? Which is even more important than which kind of companies we choose, which kind of sectors we choose. Even if we have, as you rightly said, एक अच्छी turnaround company ढूंढ ली या अच्छी fast growing company ढूंढ ली, even if it becomes 10x, अगर वो आपका आधा % एलोकेशन उसमें है, इवन इफ इट बिकम्स 10x, तो आपका पोर्टफोलियो तो 5% ही मूव हुआ इसकी वजह से. एंड देन एज अ ओवरऑल एसेट एलोकेशन अगर आपने इक्विटीज में ही बहुत कम डाला है तो दैट डजंट इवन मूव योर नेटवर्थ बाय अ टाइनी मार्जिन. सो दैट इज मोर रिलेवेंट, कि मोर देन व्हाट यू आर बाइंग. ऑफ कोर्स व्हाट यू बाय इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, बट मोर देन दैट हाउ मच यू एलोकेट इनटू इट. एंड पर्टिकुलरली इफ इट स्टार्ट्स वर्किंग इन योर फेवर, are you adding more to your winners? Are you increasing your allocation? अगर आप starting में एक tracking position लेते हैं, if you're not sure, it is perfectly fine because you are aligning with your own research, with your own thesis. But as that thesis starts playing out, you need to also keep increasing your allocation.
Actually, विवेक, ये पर्सपेक्टिव मुझे क्यों आया, क्योंकि मैं क्या देख रहा था कि यार ग्रोथ कंपनीज के नाम पे मैं कंपनीज में इन्वेस्ट करता था, ऑल एक्साइटेड यार कि आई थिंक ग्रोथ बहुत फास्ट है, बट एट द सेम टाइम मुझे डीप डाउन कहीं इतना कन्विक्शन भी नहीं आ पाता था कि मैं बोलूँ कि यार लेट्स से 70-80% तो ये हो जाएगा. तो अगर चांसेस भगवान पे हैं कि भाई आई लीव इट टू द ऑलमाइटी, then you will never be able to invest a lot into that particular company. But opportunity in cyclicals, turnaround, वो ऐसी होती है कि आप काफ़ी हद तक अंदाज़ा लगा सकते हैं कि इस कंपनी के साथ क्या हो सकता है. Of course, full-fledgedly
that is never going to happen. Yes, 100% तो कभी नहीं पता चलेगा. But yeah, you are right. So turnaround and these kind of cyclical companies, if you are right directionally, it makes a lot of money, right? And if you use right tools कि आप margin trajectory उनकी देखते हो कि peak margin है कि एकदम bottom out हो गया margin, you try to see the ओवरऑल साइक्लिसिटी ऑफ द कंपनी के कितने सालों में वो साइक्लिसिटी प्ले आउट करती है. You kind of can get a reasonable margin of safety while entering.
Correct.
You might be wrong, we can go wrong and then we need to exit कि हाँ यार ये सोचा था ऐसा हो जाएगा, but then now it is taking too much time to turn around. That will always happen. That is how investing is, and that is where it is so exciting कि हम लोग कितना भी इन्वेस्ट करें, कितना भी सीखे, there is always next level to learn. There is always some new thing which will encounter in the market.
Correct.
And that is what it keeps it exciting.
Correct.
But yes, of course, the kind of risk reward, if you get it right in turnaround in cyclicity kind of company, it's like crazy.
और काफ़ी बार मैंने देखा है फास्ट ग्रोअर्स में हमें कंपनी की क्वालिटी भी उस लेवल पे समझ में नहीं आती है. इट्स द ग्रोथ स्टोरी विच इज़ इन अ माइंड. हाउएवर मैनेजमेंट हो सकता है नया हो सकता है कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट सेक्टर में अब डाइवर्सिफाई कर रहा है. हो सकता है कि वो इतना ट्राइड एंड टेस्टेड नहीं है, इवन द कंपनी को बहुत ज़्यादा अभी एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है, पेडिग्री वो लेवल की नहीं है. बट टर्न अराउंड और साइक्लिकल्स में एंड ऑफ कोर्स स्टॉलवर्ड्स में हमें वो पेडिग्री मिलती है,
स्टेबिलिटी मिलती है कि हाँ एटलीस्ट दे हैव डन समथिंग अर्लियर,
एब्सोल्युटली
दे प्रूवन देमसेल्व्स.
एब्सोल्युटली. सो आई थिंक अगर साइक्लिकल्स और टर्न अराउंड और स्टॉलवर्ड्स में हम लोगों को वो ग्रोथ और वो पेडिग्री मिल रही है
एंड बेस्ट ऑफ बोथ वर्ल्ड्स,
एंड वैल्यूएशन भी रीजनेबल मिल रहा है या कभी कभी बहुत डीप डिस्काउंट पे भी मिल रहा है, तो देन रादर गो फॉर दोज. एंड so what we are trying to say then in that case is कि एक इन्वेस्टमेंट सिस्टम फॉलो करो भाई.
हाँ, एक थीसिस आपका होना चाहिए कि what is the area where I want to operate, कि what is my circle of competence, कहाँ मुझे बैटिंग करनी है. इट्स लाइक किसी का सिक्सेस अच्छा जाता है, कोई फास्ट 1 and 2 जल्दी ले लेते हैं, राइट. तो यू टू सी कि एज अ पर्सन व्हाट इज योर स्टाइल, वेदर यू वांट टू कीप हिटिंग फोर्स, you want to keep hitting sixes, or you want to take 1 or 2 runs and then win the match. There are again multiple ways to win the match, but if you are somebody who is good at running between the wickets and then you try to hit the sixes, then it could be a problem, right? So that is how it is.
So Vivek, I wanted to actually ask you one thing. यार ये जो कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड बेट्स होती हैं जो हमारे सुपरस्टार इन्वेस्टर्स काफ़ी बार लेते हैं, एंड विच इज़ बेसिकली अबाउट इन्वेस्टिंग अ लॉट ऑफ मनी इनटू फ्यू स्टॉक्स. सो what are the values and how does this happen? Does this require a lot of conviction, a lot of method, mindset? How exactly can this even take place?
Right. So I think most investors when they take these kind of concentrated bets, mainly क्या होता है कि जब एकदम market cheaper होती है, like in a recession or a bear market, they know that they have very high margin of safety. That is where they probably go all in. The second is when they truly understand a business very well, right? That okay, whatever I am investing, the kind of longevity of that business, the kind of competitive advantage which it has, that kind of gets ingrained, and that gives the conviction to go big. The third way is, I feel a lot of investors, when they get in, they are not sure whether this is like a good bet or not. Like even if you see case of a lot of big investors like Warren Buffett, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala ji, some of the bets they took small, allocation, and then as it unfolded, they kind of increased and bet it big. And frankly, nobody will know how future will unfold, after 5, 10, 15 years. And that is where, if you see the pattern of each and every investors, they had 5 to 10 stocks in their lifetime which changed their game.
Correct.
And that is where, it takes back us to the allocation part. Ki whether it is tranching or whether you go all in one go, that importance of big allocation for a big winner doesn't go away, right? If you want to be a successful investor, if you want to really create wealth, ultimately, even if you have multiple stocks, like even if you see Rakesh Jhunjhunwala ji, he was also trading in small bits and pieces, and even he was taking a lot of tracking position. Even if you see Warren Buffett, he used to do in and out and take small position in so many companies. But ultimately, their top holdings will be like a major portion of their portfolio.
Correct.
So rather than thinking about number of stocks, you can have even 100 number of stocks, but what is the concentration of your top winners in your portfolio is
Correct.
what ultimately matters. So concentration doesn't mean that you hold fewer stocks. It also means that you hold the winners in a very big concentration inside your portfolio and don't get out from that prematurely.
बट इसका जो आई एम जस्ट थिंकिंग दैट जो लोग इसमें इन्वेस्ट करते हैं आई थिंक वन हैज़ टू हैव अ वेरी वेरी डिसिप्लिन्ड अप्रोच, वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग माइंडसेट. रिस्क इसके बहुत ज़्यादा हो सकते हैं.
Yes.
Because if suppose your call goes wrong, even one call goes wrong,
Yeah.
it can have a very very drastic impact on the entire portfolio.
Correct.
And because of those concentrated bets,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And also from a perspective कि हो सकता है पूरा market भाग जाए, but तुम्हारा stock जो है वो
पूरा
ना भागे,
वो ना
because
हो.
आपने सिर्फ कुछ स्टॉक्स में बेट ली है. सब लोग भाग जाए, हो सकता है आपके कुछ स्टॉक्स नहीं भागे.
Yes.
तो from this perspective, is there a mindset training also which might be required?
Yeah, so see, this is also kind of survivorship bias, right? There would be a lot of graveyards out there, a lot of people who took that concentrated bets and it did not work out and their portfolio might have devastated or they might have gone out of the markets.
Right.
Nobody cares about that and nobody talks about it, right? But out of 100 people, if 95 failed and 5 people who made it to there, everybody sees, okay, only Rakesh Jhunjhunwala ji or Warren Buffett. For every one Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, there will be hundreds of people who might not have been able to successful. And that is where I think what I realized is, rather than putting all money in one go, you kind of stagger it in tranches. You kind of slowly increase your allocation.
Slowly build conviction on your stocks.
It's you have planted a seed and then it as it keeps growing every day you kind of water it, rather than upfront give all the water and then hope that it will become a tree, right? Sometimes that is a better approach in my view, where you are adjusting for a risk. Of course, if you have a limited time opportunity, like a lot of times what happened in Warren Buffett's case is he used to hold a lot of cash, right? And there is a meltdown, there is a recession, and then you get like a very very crazy deal just because everybody were acting irrationally, and now there is a stress that has happened, and you get those kind of stress deals also.
Right.
So that is a different perspective where you get a chance to put like a 10%, 20% or acquire entire company, versus a retail investor who don't have that kind of firepower to buy entire company or buy in the times of so big stress. It helps more to take that risk adjusted approach where you ultimately build a concentrated bet, but you start small and then as it moves in your favor, you kind of build it.
So of course, well said. And but ये जो bets हैं ये कहाँ ले सकते हैं हम? Because let's say fast growers में तो it kind of seems quite impossible to me.
Yes.
And in the turnarounds, stalwarts, cyclicals, so we can actually think about it, right?
Yes.
So that is where the large bets can really take place.
Yes, absolutely. So when you have turnaround, the thing is very simple. Of course, not many turnarounds will work, but if it works, it can make big money. So if you have a risk management system, exit system, if it doesn't work, what you do, if you are clear about that system,
Right.
and then you bet big, concentrated bet on those cases as it keeps working around, it can do crazy.
Sometimes it's also about highest margin of safety, where
Highest
you
margin
find
of safety, right? So if it is like really, from death ashes, that company is just coming out, and you are able to spot that early, that creates like wonders for the portfolio.
2 मिनट के लिए अभी का सिनारियो देख लेते हैं. Maybe some of the banks which are available at very decent valuations, and
Chemicals, there are a lot
chemical
of
space
companies.
which are available at a decent valuation, जहाँ growth है.
Yes.
And a lot of banks in fact are growing at a very fast pace as well.
Yeah.
20% की growth है.
Yes.
And just because of maybe a slight margin decline, or maybe other scenarios other than growth, the valuations have come down.
Correct.
So one can actually get a lot of margin of safety there, right?
Absolutely. And yeah, that is the whole thing, right? There will be always emerging sectors which are always coming, and there is opportunity somewhere. If you are able to spot, like even a couple of years back, like we had entire, IT sector that came down just after COVID, and then, it kind of started building the base and the kind of wealth it created. And particularly if you can see that thing is temporary in nature, the effect that has happened to that sector is temporary in nature, and when it is just starting to turn around, if you can bet there, it gets like really crazy.
Amazing. So now let me move to a little different topic where we'll try and understand कि what is your mindset towards money? How do you think about money? क्या हमें किसी भी हद तक चले जाना चाहिए पैसे कमाने के लिए, कि क्या हमें कुछ सोचना चाहिए, कुछ वैल्यूज होनी चाहिए about earning money? How to earn money?
Yeah. So see, I think money, what I've learned from so many different mentors and so many people, even a lot of books which I've read, it's more like a tool. Earlier we used to have a barter system कि आप मुझे कुछ ग्रॉसरी दो, मैं आपको मिल्क देता हूँ, आप मुझे कोई घर दे दो, मैं आपको कुछ और दे देता हूँ उसके हिसाब से. सो देन इट इवॉल्व कि भाई मुझे ये नहीं चाहिए, आपकी ग्रॉसरी के सामने मुझे वेजिटेबल्स नहीं चाहिए, तो यू नीड समथिंग एल्स, देन हाउ टू डील विथ इट. सो देन द कॉमन करेंसी विच इज़ लाइक कनेक्टिंग डॉट बिटवीन ऑल द थिंग्स वेयर यू कैन sell somebody, say, clothes, and then get money, and then from that money you can buy vegetables. So it kind of emerged that way. So ultimately, if you think about money, it's just a value exchange, right? You are giving something, and in return you are getting money. So that gets to a point that money is byproduct of doing something good, serving something, or giving goods and services to somebody. And that takes you to the point of excellence, right? Where if you do something really great, like if you are a really good doctor, if you are a really good financial advisor, if you are a really good lawyer, if you are a really good cobbler, if you are a really good haircut artist, you are going to get paid, right? So that is where, if we can serve and give best of what we stand for, I think money will follow.
So what you're saying, actually concentrate on your craft.
Yeah, so concentrate on what you are really good at, and what you want to give first, and then money will come because it's a exchange of value and services.
ये मुझे याद दिलाता है, एक्चुअली बहुत सारे लोग मुझे पूछते हैं, यार उत्कर्ष, ये मुझे सीखना कुछ नहीं है मार्केट में, मुझे नहीं समझना है कि वो कितना प्रॉफिट है, क्या है, मुझे नहीं समझना है कि उसके चार्ट्स कैसे हैं, ऊपर जा रहे हैं, नीचे जा रहे हैं, बट मुझे बस ना स्टॉक बता दो, बस स्टॉक बता दो. क्या ऐसे किसी को स्टॉक बताने से क्या सक्सेस उसको मिल सकती है? एंड अगर मैं उसको स्टॉक बता भी दूँ, क्या उसको कन्विक्शन आएगा?
या सो दैट इज़ वेयर व्हाट आई फर्मली बिलीव इज़ कि आप अगर किसी का एडवाइस भी लेते हो, विच इज़ अ गुड वे, बिकॉज समबडी हु इज़ एन एक्सपर्ट, यू आर गेटिंग समथिंग फ्रॉम इट. But problem is, today's time and age, not everybody is good, not everybody is a right person to give you that advice, and that is where it is very important to have at least a basic knowledge of nuts and bolts around investing. Just like let's say we might be delegating driving to somebody, but then one fine day your driver is not coming, or when he is not driving properly, kind of know that this is somewhere going wrong. So at least you learn the art, and then you can delegate it. If you don't have time, you can focus on core things, but having that understanding is very, very important. And which kind of stock you prefer and how your mindset is aligning with your portfolio will only happen when you have deeper understanding of the process yourself. And then of course you can align with an advisor whom you trust and whom you align to.
Right. So tell me something. I think there is this question in a lot of investors' mind कि हम उसी पर्सपेक्टिव से कि मुझे सीखना नहीं है, मुझे कुछ करना नहीं है, तो क्यों ना मैं किसी दूसरे को दे दूं पैसे, एक फंड मैनेजर को दे दूं, मे बी PMS में इन्वेस्ट कर दूं, बेसिकली आस्क समवन एल्स टू हैंडल द मनी फॉर देम. सो why do you think it also gets important to actually handle your money on your own?
Yeah.
First of all, is it important? क्या क्या ये important है? क्यों ना हम किसी और को दे दें? From what I understand, mutual funds return अच्छा देते हैं. Let's say 12-13% return हो ही जाता है साल का, if you see on a CAGR basis. And let's say other spaces, PMS and all will also vary around that range. तो क्यों कोई आदमी खुद हैंडल करे?
So one is, when you are learning yourself, when you are studying so many businesses, it gives you an idea about the world, how world operates, how business operates, and that kind of helps you in your job and your business also. That is very, very one powerful, thing which will improve your own mindset, your own understanding about the world. The second very important thing is it keeps your mind active, right? If you are learning every single day about something new, and stock market, there is always something new which you can learn. It keeps your brain very active. It keeps you very, very lively in terms of learning. The second very important thing is it's again a myth that investing needs too much of time. It needs too much of effort. It needs financial background. All these are big, big myths, Of course, initially it's like a rocket launch. You need to grab some things, but if you build a system in a right way, even if you look at your stocks once in a week or once in a month and get broader updates around what is happening around your companies, it doesn't require time beyond that, right? So once you are through with the process, it probably takes less than 2 hours a week.
Right.
And pretty much, I was working into investment banking, very hectic schedule. Still, I was able to manage to do that because my process was set. I knew exactly what I want to do. So that way, it is very intuitive to do it yourself. The other side of the thing is, see, as a retail investor, you have a lot of flexibility. If things don't work out, you can exit very quickly. If you find an opportunity very quickly, you can buy. So, and any universe you can buy. You don't need to answer anybody why you bought a micro cap, why you bought a small cap. So based on which sector is emerging, based on which market cap is emerging, you can take a very flexible call. On the other hand, I'm not saying mutual fund or PMS people who are running the show are not a good, at their job. But just because of the sheer structure which they have, right? Because sheer size at which they operate, as soon as they cross 1,000, 2,000 crore, the kind of opportunities which are available to them based on the money they have gets kind of constrained. So they cannot operate beyond a certain number of stocks. And that kind of hampers the overall alpha and overall returns that get generated.
A stock-wise allocation.
They need to take approval. In and out is very difficult because if there is a big stake they have, if they sell, the company itself goes into a lower circuit. So it's not easy. The impact costs are very high. Right. So that way, the flexibility and the way people can generate alpha is of course superior in direct investing.
I remember Peter Lynch mentioning in one of his books that, for some of the small cap or micro cap, he actually used to take 1 month to actually go and buy, because वो बोलता था कि थोड़ा सा आपने buy कर लिया ज़्यादा तो ऑलरेडी प्राइस वहां पहुंच जाती थी जहां बेचने का टाइम आ जाता था.
टारगेट प्राइस होगा आपका,
और टारगेट प्राइस पे वॉल्यूम नहीं है.
हाँ, तो वापस जहां से बाय किया था वहां आ जाएगा. सो दैट इज वेरी ट्रू, राइट? एंड दैट इज द रीजन. एंड imagine US is a very liquid market, very big market. India ka market capitalization as a country itself is very small compared to US market. So that problem is even more bigger in country like ours until we get into a maturity phase.
Actually, one thing which I liked what you said was investors को business सीखना है.
Yes.
बहुत सारे लोग ये actually नहीं समझ पा रहे हैं कि वो जहाँ पर भी हैं, जिस किसी जॉब में, जिस किसी बिजनेस में, आपको बिजनेस डायनामिक्स, इकोनॉमिक्स समझना तो बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है. यू कैन नॉट रन अवे फ्रॉम दैट. यू कांट से कि मैं नहीं सीखूंगा. इट्स लाइक सेइंग मैं न्यूज़ नहीं देखूंगा. न्यूज़ नहीं देखेंगे तो हाउ विल यू सर्वाइव?
It's so easy to do it. It's not that difficult. If you learn it properly, it's so easy to
But it's like breathing, right? विवेक, मतलब ये ऐसी बात हो गई, मैं बोल रहा हूँ मुझे ब्रीथ नहीं करना है.
Yes.
So अब ब्रीथ नहीं करना है तो घुटन तो होगी. So it's
Absolutely.
it's extremely important, I think, from a business perspective कि
Yes.
companies को समझना कि क्या हो रहा है. This is for your general growth,
Absolutely.
personal growth as well. Right?
Absolutely.
So Vivek, another thing which I thought I'll discuss with you today is investing के जो 3 main components हैं, which is fundamental analysis, technical analysis and behavioral finance. तो इसमें मैं तो बेसिकली एक स्टैंड रखता हूँ कि फंडामेंटल एनालिसिस एंड टेक्निकल एनालिसिस 10% इम्पोर्टेंस पर्सपेक्टिव से इनको वेटेज एलोकेट करता हूँ. बट जो बिहेवियरल फाइनेंस है, दिस आई फील इज़ द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग. जो फंडामेंटल एनालिसिस है, टेक्निकल एनालिसिस है, इसके लिए पैरामीटर्स फिट कर सकते हैं हम लोग. ये एक ऑटोमेटेड मेथड भी हो सकता है. हाउएवर बहुत सारे लोग ये सोचते हैं कि फंडामेंटल्स और टेक्निकल्स के बेसिस पे हमने स्टॉक पिक कर लिया, वहाँ पे हमारा काम हो गया और कुछ भी नहीं करना हमें. तो डू यू ऑल्सो फील कि फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल बिहेवियर इज़ एज इम्पोर्टेंट एज आई एम सेइंग, एंड क्या ये बिहेवियर अब हम कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं, क्या इसको बेटर कर सकते हैं? तो what can be done regarding this?
Yeah, awesome. So I think, as you rightly said, fundamentals and technicals are just the tools, right, which will give you insight कि भाई company कैसा कर रहा है, what is the business model of the company. If you go to technicals, it will tell you what is the demand, supply, where the investors are actually looking at. But even if you do all the things right, अगर आपने सही stock ले भी लिया basis fundamental or technical, whatever tools you are using, the problem starts after that, right? कि suppose you did your homework, everything went right, and suddenly the stock starts falling. That is where you start getting fearful कि ये क्या हो गया, ये तो मैंने कभी सोचा ही नहीं था, ये कंपनी कैसे गिर सकती है. And on the other hand, जब स्टॉक प्राइस ऊपर जाने लगता है, यू गेट इनटू दैट ग्रीड मोड कि यार इसको तो और ज़्यादा ले लेना चाहिए था, और मैं पैसा डाल देता हूँ. एंड दैट रिस्क मैनेजमेंट एंड ऑल द थिंग्स गोज फॉर अ टॉस. तो ग्रीड एंड फियर हैव बीन देयर, मतलब जब हम आदि मानव थे तब भी था, अभी भी है, एंड इट इज़ गोइंग टू रिमेन इन फ्यूचर. And that is the reason, even if we have algo trading and lot of softwares and everything, because of this fluctuation in the human nature, you kind of see that trends getting formed, suddenly crashes happening, and then again, you see those kind of momentum also building up. So the way is, of course, system and process is important, but simultaneously we need to have that discipline to stick to our system.
Right.
And lot of psychological factors that affect investors. मैंने भी ये काफ़ी सारी गलतियाँ की है. एक इज़ योर लॉस अवर्जन, राइट, कि कोई चीज़ हमने सोची है कि ये बहुत अच्छी कंपनी है, बहुत अच्छा फंडामेंटल्स है, या टेक्निकली एवरीथिंग इज स्ट्रॉन्ग, एंड व्हेन इट स्टार्ट्स फॉलिंग, इट कुड बी बिकॉज द कंपनी जो आपने जब ली थी तब जो फंडामेंटल्स या टेक्निकल्स थे, दैट हैज़ गॉट इनवैलिडेटेड. आपका थीसिस जो था वो ख़राब हो रहा है, आपकी कंपनी की फंडामेंटल्स डिटीरियोरेट हो रही है. बट एज एन इन्वेस्टर वी गेट स्टक इन टू लॉस अवर्जन कि यार लॉस तो नहीं लेना है. इट इज़ वेरी पेनफुल टू टेक लॉसेज, राइट. तो वो साइकोलॉजी के हिसाब से इन्वेस्टर्स डोंट गेट आउट ऑफ अ पेनफुल बिजनेस, एंड दैट पेन ओनली इंक्रीजेस. इट्स लाइक अगर आपको कहीं यहाँ पे कोई एक्सीडेंट हुआ या चोट लगी है या आपका सेल खराब हो गया या छोटा से पोर्शन में कैंसर हुआ, तो व्हाट इज़ द बेस्ट थिंग टू डू? It's to cut that portion and get it operated as soon as possible so that it doesn't, spread across the body. But when it gets into investing, वो psychology पूरी opposite way में चल जाती है. दूसरा है FOMO, right? You have a set process कि आप ऐसे ऐसे parameters पे enter करेंगे, ये technical breakout पे enter करेंगे. But then everybody is jumping into a certain sector or a certain stock, so we tend to get that fear of missing out कि यार ये लोग सब पैसे कमा रहे हैं,
न्यूज़ चैनल बोल रहा है ये खरीद लो, दूसरा बंदा बोल रहा है ये खरीद लो.
There is so much of noise, तो आपको लगता है यार मैं भी क्यों मिस करूँ, मैं भी जंप कर लेता हूँ. तो you are basically overriding your own system, and that is where the problem starts.
Correct.
तो मैंने भी ये सब मिस्टेक्स किए, एंड आई एम श्योर लॉट ऑफ इन्वेस्टर्स हु गेट इन, दे गो थ्रू दिस साइकिल्स, एंड देन देयर आर वेज आप डिसिप्लिन धीरे धीरे बनते जाते हो. आपको काफ़ी सारी चीज़ कर सकते हो, मेडिटेशन कर सकते हो, यू कैन गेट अ जर्नल इन प्लेस कि वाई यू बॉट दैट स्टॉक इन फर्स्ट प्लेस.
Correct.
and reflect on your own mistakes.
Correct.
So there are a lot of ways to even improvise that.
So you are saying जब तुम अपना प्रोसेस तोड़ोगे
Yes.
तब तक you will be punished.
There is a problem. Yes, because then why we make a system or process in first place is to keep us sane during those periods.
Right.
But it's like Apple में वो feature आता है iPhone में कि you can lock social media apps after a certain time कि 15 मिनट हो गया तो लॉक हो जाएगी. अगर आप फिर वापस उसको ओवरराइड करते हो कि नहीं आई वांट टू अनलॉक दिस फॉर एंटायर डे, देन देयर इज नो पॉइंट इन पुटिंग दैट अलर्ट इन फर्स्ट प्लेस.
करेक्ट.
तो ऐसा ही चीज़ हो जाता है.
करेक्ट. नो एब्सोल्युटली. सो वेल सेड. एंड इट्स सो इम्पोर्टेंट कि हम बिहेवियर कंट्रोल कर पाएँ. एंड सबसे ज़्यादा मैं देखता हूँ कि लोग इधर से उधर जंप करते रहते हैं एंड दे आर नॉट फॉलोइंग दैट प्रोसेस. कोई प्रोसेस जैसे हमने बोला इम्पोर्टेंट है होना. कोई भी प्रोसेस इम्पोर्टेंट है.
इट इज रैंडम तो फिर आपको पता ही नहीं है क्या कर रहे हो आप. इट्स जस्ट लाइक कुछ
ऑफ कोर्स लॉजिक उसकी सही होनी चाहिए. इट्स नॉट दैट कि लॉजिक सही नहीं है, बट देन एक इन्वेस्टमेंट प्रोसेस होना बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है टू कट आउट दोज बिहेवियरल बायसेस. अनदर थिंग फ्रॉम अ बिहेवियरल बायस पर्सपेक्टिव ओनली विच आई वांटेड टू डिस्कस विथ यू वाज कि बॉस ये बहुत बार हम लोग सोचते हैं कि एग्जिट कैसे लेनी है. 2 मिनट के लिए हम लोग भूल जाएं कि कौन से फंडामेंटल पैरामीटर के बेसिस पे एग्जिट लेनी है या टेक्निकल पैरामीटर के बेसिस पे एग्जिट लेनी है. बट फ्रॉम अ पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ हम स्टॉक मार्केट में बोलते रहते हैं ना कि राइड द विनर्स. एंड विनर जो है वो भागता रहता है और कट योर लॉसेस. सो फ्रॉम दैट पर्सपेक्टिव बहुत बार फ्रॉम अ वेरी वेरी रियलिस्टिक स्टैंड पॉइंट आई वॉन्ट टू आस्क यू कि क्या कोई स्टॉक 100% भाग गया है तो उसको रखना चाहिए पोर्टफोलियो में, नहीं रखना चाहिए? व्हाट शुड बी द एग्जिट स्ट्रैटेजी फ्रॉम पर्सपेक्टिव कि भाई इतना भाग गया है तो वो और नहीं भागेगा. बहुत लोग ये सोचते रहते हैं. तो क्या करना चाहिए एक्चुअली में?
So basically, when you take a decision of cutting or adding any stock, suppose आपके पोर्टफोलियो में कोई स्टॉक है और उसका 10% 20% फॉल हो गया एंड यू आर डिसाइडिंग टू एग्जिट. सपोज उसमें से पैसे भी आए एंड देन यू आर थिंकिंग अब ये पैसे कहाँ डालूँ, मैं नया स्टॉक लूँ या मेरे पोर्टफोलियो स्टॉक्स में रखूँ. एंड दैट इज़ वेयर दिस डिलेमा कम्स इन कि भाई कोई स्टॉक ऑलरेडी 100% मूव हो गया है तो अब उसमें मैं क्या करूँ, उसको मैं और ऐड करूँ या फिर कोई नया स्टॉक ढूंढने जाओ. सो द पॉइंट इज़ वेरी सिंपल. यू ट्रीट बोथ दी स्टॉक्स एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम इक्वल. सो अभी एग्जिस्टिंग पोर्टफोलियो में आपका ये स्टॉक है, दूसरा एक नया कोई बाहर का स्टॉक है. यू इमेजिन कि दिस स्टॉक आपने कहाँ से लिया डजेंट मैटर. आपने 100 रुपये पे लिया, अभी 200 रुपये हो गए. अब सोचिए कि ये 200 रुपये में अभी से यहाँ से नेक्स्ट 2-3 ईयर्स इसके अर्निंग्स ग्रोथ, वैल्यूएशन, इसके फंडामेंटल बेसिस पे या टेक्निकल के बेसिस पे क्या ये अभी भी अच्छा स्टॉक है?
करेक्ट.
वर्सेस द न्यू स्टॉक विच यू आर थिंकिंग टू बाय. इफ़ योर आंसर इज़ येस दिस इज़ बेटर वन तो एग्जिस्टिंग पोर्टफोलियो में आप ऐड कीजिए. इफ़ यू फील दैट द न्यू वन इज़ बेटर वन then you think of adding it into your portfolio. But then logically that means that ideally जो 100% बढ़ गया उसको भी आपको शायद exit करना चाहिए, because now you don't think that from here it is still worthy to keep it in your portfolio.
One very simple trick I'll share with you which I use.
Yes.
Is मैं ऐसे सोचता हूँ यार मेरी वाइफ ने गलती से अगर मेरा ये 100% वाला स्टॉक बेच दिया तो क्या मैं फिर से जाके वो स्टॉक खरीदूंगा कि नहीं? एंड आई थिंक अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स वी सफर फ्रॉम दिस ओनरशिप बायस लाइक एंडोमेंट इफेक्ट, राइट? कि मैं इस स्टॉक को ओन करता हूँ. वी अटैच अ लॉट ऑफ वैल्यू टू मैं.
हाँ, एंड पर्टिकुलरली जब बहुत ज़्यादा रिसर्च किया होता है
Correct.
तो बहुत ज़्यादा अटैचमेंट होता है कि यार इसमें तो मैंने 6 महीने लगा दिए, अब मेरी एग्जिट आ रही है, ये कंपनी ख़राब हो रही तो मैं कैसे एग्जिट करूँ इसको?
करेक्ट.
एंड द अदर प्रॉब्लम विच आई सी, हम साइकोलॉजिकल फैक्टर्स और बिहेवियर की बात कर रहे थे, तो काफ़ी बार जब लोग को पैसे की ज़रूरत है, सपोज आपका 1 करोड़ का पोर्टफोलियो और आपको 10 लाख निकालने हैं उसमें से बुक करने हैं, तो मेजॉरिटी ऑफ टाइम्स पीपल विल बुक कंपनीज विच आर विनिंग इन देयर पोर्टफोलियो. तो जिसमें सबसे ज़्यादा प्रॉफिट हो रहा होगा या प्रॉफिटेबल कंपनी होगी उसको सेल कर लेंगे. नोबडी डज कि जो लॉस मेकिंग कंपनी है उसका 20 लाख का लिया था,
Correct.
उसका 10 लाख हो गया, वो 50% डाउन है, तो वो 10 लाख वहाँ से निकालो.
Absolutely.
See, notionally everything is same. Your portfolio value will still remain 90 lakh after you pull out that 10 lakh. But वो 10 lakh आप लॉस मेकिंग कंपनी से निकाल रहे हो या प्रॉफिटेबल कंपनी से निकाल रहे हो, वो भी बहुत मैटर करता है. बट मोस्ट पीपल बुक द कंपनीज विच आर प्रॉफिटेबल बट दे डोंट कट
the losses.
द लॉस वाला कंपनी.
एक
दैट इज अगेन सेम लॉस अवर्जन.
बट एक चीज़ मैंने भी देखी है कि लेट्स से काफ़ी बार विवेक फ्रॉम अ वेरी वेरी रियलिस्टिक स्टैंड पॉइंट पता नहीं चल पाता कि बहुत क्वांटिटेटिवली कि यार ये बहुत और ज़्यादा 100% तो भाग ही गया है, 200-300% भी जाएगा. बिकॉज लॉट ऑफ दी स्टॉक्स आर बेस्ड ऑन कि भाई फ्यूचर में क्या होने वाला हो, इतना फ्यूचर लोग नहीं देख पाते हैं.
यस.
तो कहीं ना कहीं डू यू थिंक दैट एक लाइन ड्रॉ करनी पड़ेगी कि लाइन ड्रॉ ना करें, उसको भागने दें और देन सी कि वो कहाँ जाता है, कहाँ रुकता है. व्हाट शुड बी द स्ट्रैटेजी?
So that is where, see, what I personally use is more like a trailing exits. कि भाई I don't know how high it will go and nobody knows. You know,
from a chart perspective.
हाँ, from chart perspective या ऐसे ही normally fundamentally also you never know कि ये कंपनी कितनी बड़ी हो जाएगी 10 साल बाद, right? कल जाके कुछ इवेंट हुआ, इंटरेस्ट रेट बढ़ गए, कुछ भी हुआ, इट कैन चेंज, राइट? नोबडी कैन से फॉर सर्टेन हाउ मच इट विल गो. इवन प्रमोटर डजंट नो, राइट? वरना तो वो लोग भी पूरे पैसे डाल के शेयर ले लेते हैं. बट द पॉइंट इज, यू नो, आई कैन ऑलवेज डिफाइन माई रिस्क कि भाई I don't know how high it will go, but I want to take only this much risk on the downside. It can be 10%, 20%, 30%, जितना आपका appetite है based on the conviction of the company which you are holding. But when you have that kind of trailing approach where if it keeps going high, you keep riding it, but if it, you know, kind of comes against your thesis, then you get out. That has, you know, particularly helped me in my
probably that can be done, or I think जो भागता है वो भागता रहता है.
Generally, you know, market is true. Again, you know, there are always times when entire market is wrong, but generally if somebody is really buying that or really it is moving, generally it is for a reason, you know, most of the times.
Again. Absolutely. So great, Vivek. I think it's been a wonderful session. We've actually discussed a lot of things. Just to summarize the entire thing, you know, we started understanding initially कि भाई वो home loan जो है वो लेना है नहीं लेना है, क्या करना है, and then we actually moved towards wealth creation, that mindset about wealth creation. We also discussed कि stock market में process कितना ज़्यादा important हो सकता है, and follow that process and you will probably not falter, and you will be able to compound your money for the long term. We then also discussed about a lot of behavioral biases. Or as per us, what we are now today agreeing is behavior सबसे ज़्यादा important.
Yeah, your mindset and how you react to situations.
क्योंकि that cannot be automated.
Yes.
And that is a very important part to your investing habits.
Yeah.
And last but not the least, we actually went into the examples, right? कि कौन से behavioral biases हो सकते हैं. But you know, just before we leave, I want to ask you, यार तुम्हारे कौन से सबसे बड़े mistakes या सबसे बड़े profits हुए हैं और उनके पीछे reason क्या था? If you can just give me like 2 points कि सबसे बेस्ट परफॉर्मिंग जो स्टॉक रहा है जिंदगी में, वो क्यों हुआ, वो तुम्हारी क्या क्वालिटीज थी या क्या उस स्टॉक में ऐसी क्वालिटीज थी, और लॉस वो क्यों हुआ?
So basically I'll come with loss first, right? कि क्यों बहुत बड़ा loss हुआ. And when I started my journey, did lot of mistakes actually, and I've seen drawdowns of more than 80-90% also जहाँ पे, and some of them have also got delisted, right, by the way. So one of the biggest mistake was कि जहाँ पे I went into a company which is probably at the end of the cycle or where the headwinds were just starting. तो वो पूरा जो downward phase था there I got into all those behavioral issues कि यार होप स्टोरी कि हाँ ये तो अभी टेम्पररी है, ये तो न्यूज़ फालतू है, अभी फंडामेंटल्स इंटैक्ट है, जबकि वो न्यूज़ वेयर टेलिंग मी, स्क्रीमिंग टू मी दैट यू नो फंडामेंटल्स आर डिटीरियोरेटेड, बट वी बाईपास ऑल दोज न्यूज़ बिकॉज वी हैव डन सो मच ऑफ होमवर्क, वो एंकरिंग हो गया है, अटैचमेंट हो गया है, एंड देन अगेन वी काइंड ऑफ एवरेज डाउन कि भाई और ले लेते हैं और सस्ता मिल रहा है, प्राइस और गिर गया है, and then you know a company can vanish. So one such big mistake can also, you know, with a big allocation can take your portfolio
lot of time हम
down.
रिसर्च इतनी कर लेते हैं उससे फिर स्टॉक से इमोशनली अटैच्ड हो जाते हैं, बोलते हैं अब तो खरीदना ही पड़ेगा.
So we ignore all the news, right? और जो stocks में favor करा है, where I have made big money multiple times, is one where there were sector tailwinds, second where probably the turnaround situation which we are talking about कि sector just turn around हो रहा है, you get that PE re-rating also, और tailwind की वजह से earnings भी मिल रहा है, and more important than that, as the thesis was proving to be right, I added onto it. So vadare levanu, that is a like a muhavra in Gujarati. So you keep adding as it keeps performing.
Right.
That has helped me to make it big in lot of stocks. You know, but majorly the reasons were common. There were triggers about earnings growth. There were sector tailwinds. It was coming out from a bad phase, or it was just getting into a emerging phase, into a tailwind. And then you keep riding it. So riding your winners is the most important, and you know, not averaging down into your losers
Right.
was biggest reason, you know,
Right.
where you
Right.
can avoid.
So believe in your
making
growth story and
keep riding it.
keep riding it. I
Yes.
think that's the crux of
And don't
success.
average down your losers.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
One of the mentor, Mark Minervini, says, you know, losers average losers. So if you want to become loser, you average losers. Otherwise, you don't.
Correct. In fact, it should be the other way around. You should cut out your losses.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. But yeah, that is all part of the game, right? And we go through that learning curve, and that is where the importance of mentor and people who have been through that journey is also very important. Who
Correct.
can guide you and, you know, kind of handhold you in terms of not making that mistakes.
Awesome, Vivek. So I think this was a wonderful session. आज I think master class हो गया है.
Yes,
एक
absolutely.
investing का, and I think we've covered most of the aspects of investment today.
Absolutely.
And we are so passionate about the stock markets. I don't think we had to even think about it.
Absolutely.
It just came out with a flow. And guys, thank you so much for joining us. And this was Vivek Mashrani, and founder of Techno Funda Investing. And thank you so much, Vivek.
Thank you.
And let's catch up some more later on. Yeah.
Thank you so much, and I'm glad that we did this, and I'm sure this information, whatever we shared, will be super valuable for all the investors who are listening out here and who are starting their investing journey. Thank you so much again,
Right.
Utkarsh, for having me here.
Thank you so much, guys. Yeah.